Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Matt Antonelli here. Today, answering your questions. Today's question is, why do pitchers report to spring training earlier than position players? So, if you follow spring training, you know that pitchers typically come in right around. Most teams report right around like the first to second week of February, somewhere right around there. That's when pitchers are going to report, and then hitters typically come in like a week later, 10 days later, somewhere around there. The reason for it is, as a pitcher, it takes much more preparation to make sure that you're ready to go, to get your arm ready, than it does for a hitter. As a pitcher, you can't just go from doing nothing, sitting on your sofa, or just lightly throwing a ball to all of a sudden being ready to pitch in a game or even off a mound. As a hitter, you technically, no one really does this, but you technically could not do very much at all and then grab a bat and get ready to hit basically in a game pretty quickly. Now, some of the timing stuff, that may take a little bit and some extra reps to get used to, but physically you're not going to get out there and probably hurt yourself. There have been some hitters that have, hurt an oblique or something like that because they're not in shape, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim compared to pitchers. If you were to do nothing and then all of a sudden expect yourself to get up and get ready and go pitch in a game or go pitch off a bullpen 100% or close to it, you'd have a really high chance of hurting yourself. You'd be really, really sore for a long time, and so you just wouldn't be up to speed and ready to go. So typically what happens for most major league and minor league pitchers, most professional pitchers, is they're going to start to throw on their own wherever they are. Like some pitchers during the offseason will be up at their house. Some pitchers go down south. If they live in a northern climate, they'll go down south and start to prepare. Some will go out to their spring training complexes before they have to report. Typically, that starts to happen kind of in January. I think most pitchers use the month of January to start building stuff up, because once the season ends, depending on how late you go and depending if you play winter ball or whatever, most pitchers are going to take a little bit of time off of throwing in the winter, because it's a long season from February, basically spring training in February, all the way through until September or October. I mean, it's a lot of throwing, and it's throwing pretty much every single day. And so most pitchers take a little bit of time off in the winter. And then typically right around that January time is where they start to throw. And so they're going to start to build their arm up. They're going to start to play a little bit more long toss. They're going to start to probably get on a mound sometime in January. And then when they have to report, at the beginning of February, that first week of February, second week of February, somewhere in there, they've already been doing a lot of stuff. And so they're kind of expected to come in and be ready to go. Now, typically, you're not going to get into spring training and throw a guy on the mound the first day and be like, let's go, let's throw a hitter in there on him. They're going to still build themselves up, but they've done a lot of the work the prior month. So now when they come in, that extra week or two gives them some time to kind of catch up and get ready, get up to speed, so that when the hitters come in, that's second to third week of February, now they're ready to go. It actually probably is second week of February. I think the first games, I haven't checked the schedule this year. I know when I was playing, we typically would start to play some games that like third to fourth week of February. Is typically when you start. So you get a week or so, 10 days of practice typically, and then you're ready for games. And like I said, hitters can get up to speed much more quickly than a pitcher can. You're not going to just throw a pitcher right into a game. He's going to need to get some work, or else he's going to have some issues with his arm or some part of his body. It's just, it's more dangerous to do that as a pitcher than as a position player. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. That's why pitchers are going to go down a little bit early. And again, don't think that they haven't been doing anything. That 7 to 10 days is a period for them to start to build it up. But I would say 99% of pitchers have already been on mounds, and they're throwing pretty good in January on their own, whether it's up at their house wherever they are, or if they leave and go someplace to get work in, they're getting up to speed. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Give us a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Share the video with all your friends. Keep sending videos in. Now that we're getting into baseball season, I'm going to be doing a lot more Q&As. So any questions you guys have, let me know. And go back and check out our other question and answer. I think I've answered like 50 or 100 questions, I don't know, somewhere around there over the last year or so. So go back and check those out if you haven't done so already. Check the description box below. I've got a bunch of stuff down there for you guys to check out as well that I think you'll like. And that's all I got, guys. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.